Welcome to Breaking Limitations Show with our host, Joyce Marendes. We are here to empower, equip, and promote. Let us discover your superpower.
Hi, welcome to the Breaking Limitations Show. I am so excited to have this event. Thank you guys so much for logging in and for signing up. We're excited about the Youth Entrepreneur event. This is just going to be so awesome. So guys, if you are here, if you have logged in, I want to encourage you to go ahead and share this with the different groups, because it's going to be an amazing session. We have a lot of people who've registered, but also if you did not get a chance to register, go ahead and just sign up so that you can be able to get this information. So for those who don't know me, or if this is your first time to hear of me, my name is Joyce Marendes, and I am the founder of Breaking Limitations Company. Our mission is always to empower, to equip, and to promote individuals and organizations so they can maximize their talent to capacity. And for those of you who know me, I love entrepreneurship. I love entrepreneurship so much, and I've been an entrepreneur for a long period of time. And so today I have a group of people who are going to just talk to us about entrepreneurship, different things that we focus when it comes to entrepreneurship. And I know that you will find some great nuggets that will be able to push you to the next level. So I'll go ahead and bring our guests up on the screen so we can be able to just have them introduce themselves, at least just for 1 minute. Tell us who you are and just what country you're from, and then we'll go from there during your sessions to give more details of what you do. So if we can go ahead and start with Andrew.
Hello, I'm from the great country of Texas. It's really a state, but we like to think we're a country. I have started 2 businesses. So I have a cake company. Just 30 minutes before this, I was delivering my cakes. And then I have a pin business that I started a couple years ago. And so it's pretty much been my high school job, and I love it. Yeah.
Awesome. Go ahead, Gladness.
Okay, thank you so much, Joyce. I'm so excited to be here. So thank you for this awesome invitation. Entrepreneurship is my life. Entrepreneurship is my daily bread. So anytime I get an opportunity to talk about business planning and entrepreneurship, then it's always a good day. It's always a good day. And again, I'm so honored and happy to meet all these young entrepreneurs, Andrew, Stan, Klaus, and Lincoln. Awesome to be here. So I am Gladness Katega. I'm a purpose and business coach. I primarily support women with their women empowerment, learning how to identify who they are and unleash them into their queen identity. And from there, I then walk them through the journey of starting their businesses and really just learning how to live that abundant life. but primarily I am actually a business consultant for over 10 years. I am a business planning strategist, so I'm an author. I wrote this amazing book called Your Business Plan: Simple Steps for Successful Business Planning. It's available on Amazon. So this was me 10 years ago. After writing about 100 or 200 business plans for clients, I realized, let me put it all in a book. So I write business plans daily. So business planning is my, it's my core. And I'm always excited to talk about business planning, which I know is going to be a key focus today. So I'm really looking forward to this. I encourage everybody watching to share. You want to share this to other people, share it to groups, share it and tag anybody that you know has said they want to start a business or they are in business, because obviously, as we know, entrepreneurship is a journey. So we constantly learn. So even if you know someone in business, tag them along, let them get some, repetition, in fact, is the key to learning. So I'm so excited for today. Again, thank you so much, Joyce. And I'm really, really looking forward to this.
Awesome. Okay, Lincoln, if you could go next.
Yes, hello. So I am Lincoln Ongalo. I've got two identities. I'm a Kenyan student currently studying in UK. And my second identity is I'm also an entrepreneur. And I'm the founder and CEO of A Job in Time. Essentially, it's a platform where we showcase, our goal is to showcase the talent which resides in African students. You're going to hear more about this later on, but that's just a quick introduction into both my identities.
Awesome. And Stan?
Hello, everybody. My name is Stan Klaus Agacho. I'm from Kenya. I identified quite a lot with Gladness Katega because I'm in the business strategy industry. So I fashioned myself as a growth strategist. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I've been part of a number of startups. For the last 10 years, I've started at flipped technology companies in the region, and I'm currently working in a new fintech startup by one of Africa's well-known fintech giants, Julian Kula. And that's about myself. I have a background in economics, business strategy, marketing, investment banking, and finance.
Awesome. So guys, you are in good hands. Any questions you have, don't hesitate, because we are going to touch on entrepreneurship today. We are going to demystify all these things about entrepreneurship, and then we are going to set you into the world so that you can become great entrepreneurs. So thank you guys. It's so awesome to have you. I'm so honored that you all showed up on a Saturday, because I know Saturday is a special day, especially for people who are parents. So thank you so much for showing up in the different time zones. So what we'll do now is I'll go ahead and have Lincoln, and then we're gonna go ahead and just start with our session on today. And guys, go ahead and continue sharing. And if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. We have someone who is following, so that they can be able to point out the questions, so that we can make sure any question that you have can be addressed during this session. So thank you so much again. I'll go ahead and just acknowledge a few people. I do see Dr. Beatrice here. Thank you so much. I see Nyakio. Thank you so much. I see Bex. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you all for logging in, and continue to just sharing this broadcast. Okay, so Lincoln, thank you so much for taking the time to be here today. I'm excited. I'm excited just to have you here. So I'll just say a little bit about you. So I know that you are currently a 20-year-old Kenyan student who is currently studying biomedical engineering in the UK, and you're also the CEO of A Job in Time company, correct?
Very correct.
Yes. So that just your whole when I look at you as a student, and then I look at your company and everything. So what really made you want to start a business?
That's a very good question. It came from a very hard realization, because before the pandemic, take a little quick journey. Before the pandemic, everything was good for me. My social life was good, education was good. I had a job. I was cleaning the dishes. It wasn't anything too, fancy, but it did what I had to do. So I had a job, but then the pandemic had struck, and I lost everything. I
Wow.
lost my job. The education was still there, but it just felt very disconnected. My social life had dwindled, and I was really in a very tricky situation. I was like, what can I do? Like, what can I do right now? I was left clueless. But then there's a reason why I chose to do biomedical engineering. That's because I always had this dream of whatever I did in the UK, because I was very privileged enough to have education in the UK. Whatever I did, I was going to bring it back home to my country, Kenya. So I was going to do the engineering, and then, after I've completed my studies, I was going to, see what I can do, see how I can leave a footprint in my home country. But then during the pandemic, I was like, do I have to wait until I have to do that for me to fulfill that dream? Like, do I have to go through all my education, my master's, maybe even 5 years or so in industry for me to actually fulfill this dream? Then during this moment, I realized I have skills. Throughout my years of education, my 19 years, I've learned how to reference, learned how to, code. I can code in different languages. There was a plethora of skills which I obtained.
Yes.
And I was like, I am not alone in this situation. There's other students out there who are facing the exact same issue which I'm facing. And I was like, I don't have to wait until I am at X amount of years in industry for me to actually create a footprint in my own country, because I can make an impact within African students.
Yes.
Yes, I can do that, because they all have skills and they're all very, very talented, and they just didn't have the facilities or the resources to showcase those skills to the world.
Yes.
And that's essentially how A Job in Time was born. It was born through the realization that us students, we're clever, we're bright, we're intelligent, and we just want to have a way we can show these skills and these talents that everybody in the world can see there's something within these students which is golden. But that's how it came true.
And that's really, really amazing. Just looking at what you have, because I know a lot of times we focus so much on what we are hoping to get, what we are aspiring, that we forget that we already have some skills that we have developed as we are growing along. So especially for those people who are in the US, I want you to understand that Lincoln's business is similar to almost like Fiverr, right? Because a lot of people here in the US use Fiverr. And so Lincoln's business is called A Job in Time. And it also it's almost similar to that, but it has a few things that are different. And he uses African students who are all over the world. And those are the people who are mainly working for him. So I would really, really, I hope that, guys, you will make sure that you follow him on Facebook, follow him so that you can be able to go even on his website to see all the things that he is doing. And I like the fact that you are facing the pandemic with everybody else, but then you chose to take a different turn, because some people just chose to watch Netflix and just catch up on every show that they have not been watching. But you took this opportunity to actually develop yourself, and in the process of developing yourself, you are able to start this company. And I know sometimes even with parents, how did your parents help you in contributing towards even setting up your business?
I think my parents were anchors in this whole process
Mm-hmm.
because they saw me in my highest and my lowest points.
Yeah.
And they're the ones who gave me that motivation to push through.
Mm-hmm.
They gave me that, they inspired me because they also themselves are entrepreneur by nature.
Entrepreneurs. Uh-huh.
So they have also decided upon themselves to do something for Africa, and they created this platform called Mindflix Media, where essentially, if you're looking for investment and to invest in Africa, that's the platform. There's information's all there.
Mm-hmm.
So looking at what they've accomplished, I was like, can you guide me? So not only were they parents to me, but they also were my role models and my
Like
leaders,
mentors. Uh-huh.
my mentors exactly.
Awesome.
So they were very, very, and actually one of the reasons why that's even more important because they gave me the idea of, because I know there was like the Fiverr was there, and I wanted to differentiate from Fiverr a little bit slightly, like differentiate it from there.
Mm-hmm.
And it came from, interacting with my parents because I realized that at the end, I want these students on the platform to be entrepreneurs.
Yes.
That's the end goal. I want them to come out with a business. So they come in with their skills, and then with their skills, they get showcased. And
Mm-hmm.
from when the skills get showcased, hopefully they get a few clients, they get a few people who are willing to, pay for their service, pay for their skills.
Yes.
And then the next process because we take the students on a 3-step journey. So they embark on this skill, and then the next one after that is they add value. We add value to their skill. We enrich it
Mm.
by providing them a website. So now they've got their potential. They've got their proof of concept. Proof of concept in that first phase. Second phase is let's upgrade it. Let's give you a nice professional looking website, which you can then share to people around to here's my service, is what I can do.
Mm-hmm.
Then the third step is once they have that website and the proof of concept has been verified and tested, what's left is to take that product and put it in the hands of millions and millions of people. So the third step in our process is marketing. We have an elite group of African social media marketers, all students, everything on the side is done by the students. And their purpose is to take these students, websites and broadcast it around the world. And if it wasn't for my parents and the platform that they created for me, this would have been a very difficult challenge. And alongside that, they also opened up the opportunity for me to even benefit, to help businesses also grow, because these students who are doing the marketing, they are very, very talented, and I wanted that. I wanted businesses from the Western communities, especially from there, to witness their skills, witness, that creativity for
Mm-hmm.
their own businesses, not
Yes.
just student to student, but from business to students. So there's two elements to their job in time. It's the students, and then there's the businesses and how they benefit. But if it wasn't for my parents and them being there for me to support me, it would not have
Good.
manifested like this.
Wow, that's really, really powerful because I know sometimes as parents sometimes we have a path that we want our children to take, and so what I notice sometimes is parents can be so focused on wanting you just go finish your degree, go to college, finish your degree, that they don't want to encourage you to do anything outside of education outside of that path for college. And so my hope is that even the parents who are here watching, that you can encourage your children, no matter what age they are, that they can go to school and still pursue a dream, or start a business on the side that they can do. And one of the things I learned during the pandemic is, my kids are very young. And so when everything had to be shut down and they had to learn from from home, they adjusted so fast. And they were all like, everything, just, they could learn everything online. They could be on their games for I don't know how many hours and everything. And so I started asking myself, if these kids can catch up so fast, then they can actually do a business, or they can learn a skill instead of just playing on the computer games. Because when they get a game, even before I can understand what the game is about, they're already playing it, they understand it, they're asking me, how come you don't get it, And so I want to encourage parents that it doesn't matter how old your child is, even if they are 5, they can learn a skill, because kids nowadays learn so many things so fast. And so, Lincoln, thank you so much even for just sharing with us that information about your business, how you are able to just, your passion even for African students, because everybody has a passion for what they want to do. And yours is to be able to empower African students, which is so, so awesome. And you're giving them a platform that normally it would have taken them forever to be able to showcase their work around the world. But now, with how technology is, you're able to give them the opportunity to just an opportunity to be able to showcase their work anywhere, which is just so awesome. So I'll go ahead and just acknowledge a few people who have logged in. I see Vicky has logged in. She's also a young entrepreneur. I see Dixon, who's my cousin. I see a few people have also logged in. Yeah, Vicky says, I'm glad that my parents supported me in my path. It honestly means so much. Wow, that's really powerful. And Dr. Beatrice said, well said, parents should inspire their kids. Yeah, so parents, just be open. Don't try to compare your child with every other child. Be open, let them explore. And in the process of exploring, they can be able to start a business, they can be able to discover their gifts and their talents. And sometimes their business doesn't even have to be what they'll go to do in school, but it could just be something else, just a gift that they have, and they can also pursue that. So any closing remarks for if there's a young entrepreneur out there, what advice would you give them?
What advice would I
Yeah, like in 1 minute.
What advice? I'll tell them to be effective and always keep moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
I feel if you're young, like students, we don't make mistakes. We just have learning experiences. Like each thing you do, let's say if successful or unsuccessful, you learn from it and you keep moving forward.
Yes.
That's something which I've been doing constantly. Just keep moving forward, being effective. Because one day that one thing you try will knock that door open, and the things will come flying at you. Will be amazing and be worth all the hardship, and all the sleepless nights. But yeah, that's been my guidance, my tip.
Wow, thank you so much, because that is having grit or resilience to just be able to keep doing what you want to do and pursue until something works out. And then also, one time I had a parent who told me that he wants his children to try out whatever they need to try out while they're still in his house, so that if they fail, he'll just pick them up and be able to help them to overcome whatever failure they've gone through. But he doesn't want them to just sit and not try anything. And so, yeah, that's really powerful. So Lincoln, thank you so much for sharing with us. Thank you for for giving us that information. And could you just give people your website? Real quick?
Yes. If you're looking for the website, is ajobintime.com.
Okay.
That's a website. You can also find me on LinkedIn. You type in Lincoln Lacoste. You got to find me on LinkedIn, Lincoln Gallo. I'll be there. Let's connect. If anybody has an opportunity to even incorporate with the students, I'm open. So thank you very much for having me here. It's an amazing opportunity. And I feel very empowered. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was awesome, just sharing your vision. Thank you so much. And guys, make sure you got that information of the website, and just make sure you're following him in all platforms that he has available on the website. Thank you so much, Lincoln, and we will see you again soon.
Thank you.
The end. Yes. So now the guys, this is really, really powerful. Just seeing young people doing some amazing work. So I don't want you to ever take it for granted that I don't want you to take your young people for granted, or to think that young people, all they want to do is just have fun and be on computer games. I think if we can just give them opportunities or point them in the right direction, they can be able to discover their purpose, or to discover their giftings. And I always tell people that it took me a long time to embrace entrepreneurship as a career, because I was surrounded by people who their focus was, you have to go to school, you have to graduate, get a good job, and stay in that job, and then that's just how life was. And no one really. So I always used to have a side hustle, and always trying to try different businesses. A lot of people who know me knew that I always had a business on the side. And if I had someone, I always say, if I had someone to encourage me, the way Lincoln had someone to encourage him to start a business, I think maybe I would have been further off, or, but anyway, God knows I needed to go through what I went through, not knowing what I need to do, so that I can be here helping other people to discover their purpose earlier. So the next person we are going to have, his name is Andrew Nichols. Andrew is he's the founder of Andrew Artisan Cakes, and also Andrew Artisan Pens Company. He started his cake company at the age of 9. And guys, when you're thinking that your 9-year-old just needs to be playing on the computer games, Andrew was actually learning and working, studying a business. And one thing about Andrew is I've watched him grow. My kids, their birthday cakes, even my son, his first birthday cake, my daughter, we get our birthday cakes from him, because they are so amazing. So Andrew, thank you so much for being with us here on the Breaking Limitations show, the Young Entrepreneurs event. If you could just go ahead and just tell people a little bit about yourself, and even how old you are when you started and all that.
Yes, thank you so much, Joyce. This opportunity is amazing. I wouldn't miss it for anything. So pretty much I started when I was 9, the cake business, and I kind of started originally out of necessity, because my parents, they kind of cut me off. So they made me pay for everything, and in the States, you can't get a job when you're 9. So the only thing to do is a lemonade stand or start a business. So originally just started just for fun. I would just make cakes for friends' birthdays and stuff like that. And then I had a friend whose sister, it was her sweet 16. They're like, hey, we'll pay you $60 to make the cake. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. That's a great idea.
Wow. At 9.
So
wow.
That was actually, I think that was around 10 or 11. So I spent a couple years just practicing, just doing it for fun. And then after that, within 2 or 3 months, just on Facebook, people would post a picture of the cake, and I'd have cake orders. And around 8th grade, I developed my website and all that. And around the same time, I took about $1,000 from my cake business, and I started the pen business. So from there, I started making it really good, making the quality of the pens. So they're hand-turned pens, stuff that you can I create a wood shop in my garage, and so I sell them in jewelry stores and online. And so companies and a lot of companies here in Texas, they'll buy them for like their clients and stuff like that. So that's how I started that. So both of them were originally started out of necessity, but I found a way of taking a hobby that I found and I pretty much just make it profitable. So both of them just started out as me doing them for fun. Yeah.
Wow, guys, let me, Andrew, I don't even know how, like, a lot of like 11-year-olds wouldn't be thinking like the way you're thinking, like, okay, let me save my money from my cake business. Some of them would be blowing it away just as soon as they make it, they'll blow it away to do other things. But you take your money and save it, and then you use that money to start another business, which is you create the pens that you create in your own in the garage at home. And guys, this is so amazing because when sometimes we look at our kids and we think that they're so young or they can't do anything, or let me wait for them to grow up or let me wait for them to turn 16 so they can be able to go work, when the talent is already there. It's just waiting to be awakened. So parents, don't take your kids for granted. Don't look at them and think that, oh, this is just a little kid. Your 9-year-old can shock you. And personally, I've been able to see, even within my own life, when I started taking this seriously, I started even teaching my daughter some of the things that I do for my Breaking Limitation business. And she caught on so fast. She's able to call my clients. She's able to take rejection over the phone and just, and move on, because those are skills that even grown-ups struggle with when you're trying to talk to clients or you get rejected and all that. But she calls them, and even when they ask that, are you a kid? She doesn't even answer. She just continues with her spiel of what she's talking about. So so our kids, these young people are so talented, but we have to be able to help them focus so that they can be able to start working on their gifting. And Andrew, I also want you to just share with the audience about how you are, like, your cakes were featured on TV. That was so exciting.
Yeah, so I remember the first time I ended up getting an email. Somehow one of the producers, just for a local television show, news channel in Houston, like, hey, we heard you have a cake business. And I was about 13 at the time. And like, can we come over? I was like, sure. And they're like, okay, we'll be over in an hour. And I'm like, an hour? So, and then that aired that afternoon. And then within that afternoon, I had emails from probably 3 other news channels. And so there's probably been about 6 or 7 interviews just on local television and stuff like that. But I mean, it got pretty popular. I mean, I got a lot of orders out of it. A lot of them I had to turn down. I kind of employed my sister for about 24 hours because I'd get an influx of about 100 emails over the span of like 24 hours. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, it was a great opportunity. It really launched I was well known in the neighborhood, but it really made it throughout the whole city, and it's a very big city if y'all don't know about it. But yeah, and it's enabled me to do things like wedding cakes and stuff like that. When I was little, I always thought, you're a real baker once you start making wedding cakes. Yeah. So I would have been able to do that. I've got about almost a dozen under my belt by now.
Wow.
But, so I always consider myself official once I had my first wedding cake. So that was a great opportunity. I think my first one was, 9th grade.
Uh-huh. Oh, wow. People are just blown away. I see Gladness says, wow, starting a cake business at 11 is phenomenal. Well done, Andrew. I see amazing inspiration, Andrew. Let me see here. Great inspiration from Andrew. Yeah, it's really inspiring just to see that you're able to, you took something that you enjoyed to do and you just made it into a business, and it has given you the experience, it's given you the money you are looking for, and also just exposure on businesses, period. And then also even with your pen business, how it has helped it has just grown, and you have some amazing pens. And so, Andrew, how did your were your parents involved in making a difference in your business?
Oh yeah, they were fundamental. So my mom used to always tell me that she'd always pray that they found out what talents I had at a very young age. And I like to say that prayer was answered. I mean, I have a funny story. So I think in second grade, I went to a charter school, and me and my friend, we made origami and we'd sell it to the kids. We ended up getting in trouble. We had to stop because they'd pay with their lunch money. So I always consider that my first business. So in second grade, we actually made like 100, which wasn't for second grade. But they've always been supporting from the very beginning. They, like when I started the cake business, it started off as they buy the pans and stuff like that, and they helped me in that sense of way, but also like just hands-on. Like last night I had a cake. It was about 1 a.m. I was finishing up, and my dad spent 30 minutes of his time and helped me clean the kitchen and stuff like that. So from hands-on to my mom, she's a consultant. My whole family is entrepreneurial. It runs in our family. My uncle, he has many businesses. It's very successful. And so she helped me create the business plan, you know, build the fundamentals. She got me in contact with people to help me make my website and stuff like that. So I have a very great network, and it all started from my parents.
Wow, that is so awesome. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I keep seeing just people. Oh, someone is asking, how old are you? Right?
I'm currently, so it's my senior year, and I'm going off to study engineering.
And oh, I think your phone, it cut you off. We couldn't hear. How old are you?
18. Can you hear me?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, we can hear you now. Yeah. Yeah. So Andrew is 18. He's about to go to college. He's in high school right now, and he's about to go to college. And what are you gonna major in?
So I'll be majoring in mechanical engineering, getting a minor in entrepreneurship, and then a engineering management.
Okay. Awesome. That's really awesome. So I see quite a lot of comments here. Let me see here. Vicky says, when you're young, people tend to think you don't have enough skills since you've got little experience according to your age. I get that a lot, but that's until you actually do the job. Yes, and that is so true. When you get an opportunity to just do the job and you do it right, you give it your all, people will be able to, when people are able to see that you're doing it in excellence and you're doing it great, they will be able, they don't care about your age. They just want it done well. Because like personally, when you made my first cake, I was like, oh, this is where we'll be getting all our cakes from.
I get that a lot. They're a bit skeptical at the very beginning. They're like, I don't know. It's
yes.
Eighth grader or high school.
Yes, because when you started making the cakes for our family and my kids, I was like, we can't go anywhere else unless Andrew is the one making it. So Andrew, thank you so much for sharing your information with us. And could you just give people your website so they can know where to follow you from?
Yeah. So the first one is andrewsartisancakes.com. And then the second one is the exact same, andrewsartisanpens.com. So you can find those. And it's got all my contact information and galleries where you can see all my work.
Awesome. And guys, also, if you registered, you will be able to get information about everybody who was here. So you'll be able to get their information, like their emails, their website and all that. So you can be able to follow them on Facebook or reach out to them if you need any of their services. So just, hang tight. And then also you can reach out to us also on the Breaking Limitations page, and we'll be able to have more of that information. But that's on the screen. We have Andrew's website for the pens and also for the cakes. Okay, Andrew, thank you so much for taking the time to be with us, and we'll see you in a little bit later during the show. Okay, thank you guys. Oh, it wasn't that amazing, amazing, amazing. I see so many comments. I see some Roshanda says, I want to help my kids. I'm trying to learn. Angelia says, awesome job, Andrew. Very inspiring. Beginning now, a great business. And then Roshanda says, website help. Yeah, so this, you know what, when I decided to have this session, I want you to know that you don't have, like, whatever tools you need, we are going to work towards making sure you get those tools, especially as parents. If you want to start empowering your children, we have the different platforms and different things that we are working on. And right now, my website is breakinglimitationsnow.com, and we have the BL Academy, which is the Breaking Limitations Academy. And we are going to have all these different tools that you need in order to be able to effectively help your children. And I always want to just share like a little bit about myself. Like when I was growing up, I started school very early. And you know how when they decide, oh, she's bright enough, she can go to first grade when she's 4. And I did that. So by the time I was finishing high school, I was just barely turning 16. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. I was just confused. I didn't know anything. I just wanted to play and just have fun. I didn't know anything about starting a career and all that. And so it took me a long time to figure things out. And and as soon as I finished college, I came to the US and I was on my own, just trying to figure things out. So I didn't have that parental guidance. And there are kids who are very organized and they know exactly what they want. And then there are kids who need parental guidance all the way so that they can be able to figure out what they want. And guess what? I'm on that other list who needed parental guidance all the way. So I could figure out what I want. And so since I was so young, I was only 16, I finished high school and I was trying to figure things out. I tried so many different careers. So when I went to college, I went to college. I was like, okay, I'm going to do psychology. I didn't like it. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm switching my major. I'm going to do sociology. And then after some time, I was like, what is all this? What is this about? And I didn't like that either. So I was like, okay, I'll do computer science. I did that for a little bit. I was like, oops, no. So I'm here. I feel the pain of not, when you don't know what you want to do or when you don't have that parental guidance, it can be very tricky. And that's why we have these sessions. And so even after that, I decided I wanted to do nursing because everybody was doing nursing. I was told you need to do nursing. Nursing has a lot of money and all that. I started nursing, and within one semester, I knew this is definitely not it, until I dropped out of college and I just started working. And I went to, and when I started working, I worked with an agency. And when I worked with that agency, they sent me for different short-term assignments. And I was sent to an assignment to an HR consulting company. And that when I went to that company and I started working there just as a temp employee, I enjoyed what I was doing. And that's when I figured out that there was a major called human resources. I love to work with people in the business world, with people, and then also just my entrepreneurs. I felt like it just aligned with who I was, but it took me a long time to figure that out. And when I started working there, I went to college and I finished my first degree within a year and a half. And then after that, I did my master's degree, and I was able to finally find my path. And so it doesn't have to take, like, when we have the tools, when we have the guidance, when we have even parental guidance, or when we have different counselors or mentors, all those things make a big difference in helping us align ourselves to what we are called to do so that we don't waste time. And so I want to encourage parents, be involved in your kids, but don't try to force them into doing don't try to force them to do what you missed out on doing. Give them an opportunity to excel, give them an opportunity to discover themselves and to discover what they're called to do. And so in the Breaking Limitations Academy, we're going to give you the tools you need so that you can be able to guide your young person, but also even for you as an individual to be able to just find yourself and discover what you're called to do, live your purpose. And that's why we even have like a purpose and passion coach here with us, and different people here. So this whole event has been sponsored by BL Consulting Group, and so it's an insurance company that offers insurance to individuals, families, self-employed, and small businesses, so that they can be able to retain their employees and maximize their talent to capacity. We are going to have a quick video, a 30-second video on their services, and then after that, we're gonna come on with our guest, Gladness Katega.
Avoid bankruptcy and high debt with health insurance coverage. Take the extra time to protect everything that you work towards every day with the right insurance and coverage. One that creates protection for you for the years to come. Cover your outpatient care, trips to the emergency room, and treatments in hospitals that can be handled. A 3-day stay in a hospital can be upwards of $30,000. Don't dig into your life savings, protect yourself, and direct message me to learn more about how I can help you.
Awesome. So guys, we're gonna have one of our special guests. Her name is Gladness Katega, all the way from the UK. And I will just read a little bit about her bio, and then she'll be able to also talk about what she does. So Gladness is a business consultant, an author, a purpose and passion coach, and is also the founder of Queen Unleashed Community. Gladness supports women in overcoming life challenges and teaches them to rise from pain to purpose. And she does a lot more. Like, her resume is really long, so she'll just tell us a little bit of what she does, and then we'll go from there. So Gladness, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence on a Saturday.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for having me. And yes, we have to just make these things work. And, everybody's at home on Saturday. So it's actually a really good day to host an event. So well done. I want to congratulate you, because these stories are phenomenal. And I think it's really good, especially as a mother myself, to hear these kind of stories to encourage me to keep supporting my kids in their entrepreneurial journey. So thank you so much, Joyce.
Thank you. So thank you.
I didn't introduce myself. I forgot to introduce myself. Yes. Hi, everyone. I think it's because I'm not new to the stage, to Breaking Limitations. So I thought everybody knows me. But hey, if you're watching me for the first time, my name is Gladness Katega. I am a purpose and passion coach. I am a business consultant as well for over 10 years. I have multiple businesses. I have a property business. I have a business consultancy firm in Tanzania called Tanzania Business Club, also based here in the UK. And I also run a coaching business called I Am Womanpreneur. This is to support my female entrepreneurs, my women, to really just get to the step ladder of the entrepreneurial journey. And I also have a personal brand called Queen Unleashed. This is based on empowering women to overcome challenges, rise from pain to purpose, and then forge ahead with their queen identity, knowing who they are and what their purpose is. Then we support them on that entrepreneurial journey as well. So entrepreneurship is really like my, it's my niche, it's my passion, it's my daily bread. It's what I've been doing for over 10 years. I'm also an author. So I'm an author of 2 books. And obviously Queen Unleashed is a book that I wrote recently. But my very first book, since this is a business event, this is my very first book. It's called Your Business Plan: Simple Steps for Successful Business Planning for Entrepreneurs. So this book is really good for anybody who's literally just has that business idea or really just starting up in the first couple of years. It's important to have a business plan when starting. What I found when I began my entrepreneurial journey is just that, which is, what caused me to write the book. So that's my brief introduction. And again, I'm excited for this event.
Awesome. That is so good. Yes, Gladness does so many things. I think she has, how they say cats have 9 lives. So
a serial entrepreneur, right?
Yes, she does so many things, and I'm always just learning. Even when I watch her on her YouTube or Facebook, I'm always learning something from her when it comes to business. So one of the things that I found that a lot of people have challenges with is people have great ideas, or even kids have great ideas, but when it comes to creating a business plan, that becomes a very big challenge.
Yeah.
And I actually do have people who have businesses and they say they just can't create a business plan. When they just think of creating a business plan, they feel like they're beginning to get hives. They're getting an allergic reaction. So can you tell can you tell us a little bit about why is it important to have a business plan?
Yes, I will do. Nyakio says, wow, what an amazing book. Thank you so much. The book is actually available on Amazon, all my books.
Yes.
So if you type my name, Gladness Katega, you'll see it. And actually, my books are now also in East Africa. So I've got books in Kenya and I've got books in Tanzania. So do get in touch with me if you are in those countries. But yeah, business planning, I mean, it's, it's fundamental. It's why I say you need a business plan. Is because I say in this day and age, especially, nobody starts a journey without understanding where they're going, right? Again, we have been made a bit lazy in terms of we don't use the maps. Before, we used to physically take a map, right? And have to look and plan and think, how am I going to get there? But now it's easy. We just put on our sat nav and it gives us direction. It tells us that this is how to get there. It also shows us the risks. So sat-nav, navigation system, GPS, whatever you call it.
Yes.
It's something that you use. We even use our phones now. So I love my app Waze on my phone, and I would put it in there and it will give me direction. And sometimes it will give me different routes and it will tell me this is the fastest way to get there. And what happens when you use the sat-nav is as you go along this journey, and maybe there's an accident or something is going on ahead, what does your sat nav do? Your sat nav will alert you, right? Most sat navs, anyways, that I know of, will alert you. So you would get an alert, and it would say there is an accident ahead. And most of the time, this sat nav, if there is a better direction, it will point you to that way. So yes, your journey may take a little bit longer, or it could even be quicker, but it would alter itself to tell you how to get to your destination. So this is exactly what your business plan is. Your business plan is your sat-nav to your business success. Your business plan is the tool, right? It's your roadmap to how you are going to go from point A to point Z of your business. So from the idea stage, you want to put it down on paper. You want to understand, what is my goal, right? What is my vision for this business? And once you have that vision, then you want to understand what are the steps that I need to take in order to get to that business success. And then because you've planned your business and you've done your marketing research, right? I'm not going to bore you with the details, right? I love it. I love it. But I know if I start going technical in here, we're going to lose some people. So without being too technical, but your business plan is basically shows you, you would do all the research about the business. You don't want to just say, Apple doesn't just wake up and say this phone is $500. They look into how much phones are. So you want to understand how much to charge, for your products. You want to understand how much to charge for your clients. You want to know who else is doing this business, right? You want to know where to position yourself. Another example I like to state, Joyce, is when you go to the high street, right? Any city or any town, you will always find the same shops. I'm based in the UK, and if I go to the supermarket, there's Sainsbury's. I will also see Tesco, and then I will see Asda. And, it's like, oh, why does this happen? Well, they've done their research and they know where their competitors are. So there's no way you're going to open up a supermarket and go far away to the village or somewhere where there's no people, right? You need to locate yourself where customers are. So doing your business plan means you're able to look into all these things so that you can position yourself correctly, so that you can price correctly, but also so that you can see ahead of what it is to come, right? So there are businesses that were thriving how many years ago, but now we don't hear of them. Right? Who remembers a Yahoo Messenger, right? There were
Yeah.
days of Yahoo Messenger, right? And there were days of, these old camera phones where you would have
The
to
Kodak.
and all of that. So what happened, right? So this is what I say. I'm like, I don't know what happened, but most of the time businesses don't succeed because lack of foresight, right? You haven't, business planning is not a one day. It's not just at the beginning. It's a yearly, quarterly event, right? You're constantly checking what is going on in the industry, because otherwise you will get kicked out. Right. So a lot of people think, oh, I want to start a business. They open up the website, they go to company's house, they register. Those are beautiful, amazing things, but that is not what makes your business, right? That's not the first thing you need. You need a business plan. You need to understand how I'm gonna run this business, right? If I tell you, Joyce, majority of my clients, when they get that business plan, I can tell you at least 40% will be like, okay, so this is not the business I want to do. Because they begin to realize the depth of what that is and why I'm a purpose and passion coach. I say, don't just start a business, like you did nursing because people are doing nursing. Don't start a hair salon because it's the trend. Don't start selling eyelashes, right? Just because it's a trend. Is it your passion? Is it something that you will take from beginning to end? Or are you going to get somewhere along the way, face the hazards, and decide, oh no, I can't do this, right? And then you would have wasted how many years?
Yes.
So without being, a bit too, subjective here, because I'm all about business planning, but I say don't start a business without a business plan. So you can get a professional one from, like somebody like myself, or you can just start yourself, right? You can get the book and write it yourself. But whatever you do not forge ahead with a business without a plan, because as quickly as you will go in, it's as quickly as you'll come out.
Yes.
They say 90% of businesses fail within the first 2 years because of lack of business planning.
And
yeah,
that is so true, because it's and it's something that we are not even taught. We are not even told that the importance of that, because even me, and I'm like I told you, I'm on the other side where I started everything, and then now I've started moving backwards. Okay, what exactly am I trying to accomplish? And then you discover, okay, I want to move to this other thing. And so I would encourage anybody, yes, if you have a vision, or if you have a desire to start something, start doing a little bit of research. You can just research that industry online, because now we have information everywhere. Start researching that industry online, and then also checking to see whether, do I really have a passion for this, or is it just a phase that I'm going through? And then also, don't be afraid of trying out. Even if you try out and then you discover that this is not what I want to do, that's okay. At least you found one thing that you're sure you don't want to do. So I don't want anyone to feel like, okay, I don't have, because I know it becomes very intimidating when someone does, because when you're not in the field, and then you hear that, okay, you're supposed to do all this research, and if you don't know how to do it, you can ask. And that's why we have the Breaking Limitations Academy. We are going to teach you all these different things. We'll have all these different teachers who will come in and do master classes and all that, so that we can be able to empower you to have the information you need to be able to set yourself up correctly. But if you have a vision, or even if your young person has a vision, start researching that industry and start checking things out. Don't just and don't be afraid, or do it afraid anyway, because you'll always be afraid. Fear will always be there, but do it afraid anyway, or just just start out. Don't give up, and don't just let your dreams sit there hoping that one day everything will fall in place and then you will start, because that will never happen. So Gladness, that is really, really really, really good information. And so if someone let's go to like the younger people. So if we have a young person, or maybe someone like 9 years old who wants to start something, and like how would you guide them into maybe starting a business whereby it's not way over their head, it's not too complicated, but they can still at least start their business?
Absolutely. So I would say for a young person, it has to be a passion. It has to be something they enjoy. I experienced the same thing as you. I know your kids are entrepreneurial, and for me as well, during the lockdown, my daughter is she's 9, and last year when we were in lockdown and the frustration of not being able to go out, I wanted, I've just been waiting. I thought I'd wait till she's 10, but when we were in lockdown, I said, right, I have to get her into this business thing. And again, I was trying to kind of like, be all formal and say, okay, let's plan. And I realized, no, actually, she's only 9. Okay, so what do you want to do? It was about actually doing it actively, and again, try different things. Because she went to dance classes, and even with the dance, she started ballet, and then it went to gymnastics, and then now we're in contemporary dance, right? And it doesn't frustrate me because I'm like, it's good. At a young age, try everything. Right? Let's give them the opportunity to have their trial and error. My son plays football, right? I'm actually just coming from a football Saturday. My son had coaching, but at the same time, he also loves basketball. Okay. And then, his father is an ex-footballer. So he was like, no, he has to play football. And I said, no, we have to allow him to try both. Let him play everything. And at the end of the day, he can then choose, right, whether he wants to major and take football or basketball. So I would say at a young age, start everything. So for my daughter, after doing all the different things, and I really wanted her to be a dancer, actually, it turns out she enjoys fashion, right? Now she's started Alana's boutique, and she's making her own clothes, she's making her own fashion bits. But guess what she's done? Her line, right, is primarily for dance. And I thought to myself, what, my African side said, what kind of thing is this? And she's making little dance shorts because she's a dancer, but she enjoys fashion. So now she's making little dance shorts and little dance tops. And I said, well, so let it be, let it be. So we have to allow them to venture into whatever it is that they actually enjoy, and they find it natural. So it has to be a natural thing for them. So when I then allowed her to do that, it became very easy. Now she's got her YouTube channel. Now she started doing both the dancing, and she does she shows people how to make their own clothes. And this all started with rags. She would take my old jumpers and she would just cut it up and she would make something. And I said, this is interesting. So as parents, we have to watch them, right? I spend a lot of time every day, sometimes just looking at them and watching, because I realized this is how I noticed that she's taking things and cutting. Instead of being upset, at first I was like, you're making a mess. What are you doing? And I said, okay, let me allow her to finish, Joyce. By the time she finished, she created something. I posted it and I was so excited. So I allowed her to venture into that. And now she's got Alana's boutique. She called it herself. She designs all these things. And I'm just waiting to see what happens. So we need to allow our young kids to just start. We need to not worry too much about the details, because if we pressure them, then they don't enjoy it. And then, they will not venture into it. And, the future is entrepreneurship. I strongly believe that. I've noticed even in supermarkets now, because being a business person, I watch a lot. There are less and less customer service people, right? There are more machines, even in the banks. Many banks, where I am, many banks have reduced the customer service. You now go and do everything yourself. Right? You go to the machine and you deposit the money yourself. And I thought, wow, I realized, right, I am going to train these kids because there's going to be less and less jobs, right, in the coming years. So we need to allow our kids now as a young person to venture into entrepreneurship, so that by the time, they grow, it becomes easier. So a lot of adults, this whole fear thing and uncertainty is because we didn't have growing up, myself, we didn't have anybody to nurture us into entrepreneurship. Forget about entrepreneurship. Nurture us to just allow us to be us, right? A lot of people I meet, they would say, I studied this because my parents said. I studied a whole law degree, Joyce, right? A lot of people don't know this. I did a whole law degree because I thought I liked to speak, and people said, you need to be a lawyer. So I did it, but then I didn't enjoy it. So I ended up, finishing that and starting a business degree and business masters, and realizing actually I really do prefer business. So let's allow our young ones to really just venture into what they're passionate about, and then there will be no regrets later in life.
Wow, wow. That is so powerful. That is true. That is so true. And also there's something you said about the African side in you did not
Oh,
want
yeah.
to allow her to become just what she chose to be.
Oh, yes.
And I think a lot of people, especially just different communities, believe in different things, and they want you to be in certain industries. And so like even like for the African communities, I noticed we want to have the prestigious, the what we call prestigious
Yes.
careers. Like you have to be a doctor, you have to be engineering or a lawyer and all that. And if anything outside of that, if you start saying that, oh, I want to become a musician or I want to become a dancer, then your African parents would be like, excuse me, what do you mean by that? Because I know one of our friends who said he wanted to do music, and the parents were like, excuse me, music is something you do on the side, like for fun, but that's not what you do for a career. A career is something like a doctor,
Yes. It's a myth. It's a
yes,
myth.
and it's a myth that is in our community, and so we sometimes don't allow our young people to develop and become who they are called to be. And so even when in the Breaking Limitations Academy, we're gonna talk about purpose, discovering your purpose, discovering your strengths and your weaknesses. Because I think for me that was the key. Like it really helped me when I understood my strengths and my weaknesses, such that even in the business arena, I already know what my strengths are and I know what my weaknesses are. So even if I was to hire someone, even if I was to get a mentor, I'm getting a mentor who's helping me in those areas that I'm weak in,
Yes.
because I already understand who I am, I understand my strengths, I understand my weaknesses. And so I really hope that even anybody out there, take time to understand who you are. We are going to offer a lot of classes, even that for you to discover your purpose, for you to discover your strengths, your weaknesses, so that you can be able to really know who you are. And when you know who you are, then it will help you in discovering your purpose. It will help you in even in the entrepreneur world. And so so I do see quite a lot of people who have also joined in. I see Alan Lawrence said purpose is the compass. That is so good. I see Mary, she says, wow, that's very awesome. Yes, and it's so good to see even like your 9-year-old just developing herself, starting a business. Because I know even for me, my kid, she loves to create cartoons, and so she will
I've
create
seen her work. She is amazing. And I said, I'm like, Joyce, can she do something for me? Right? And I remember you saying, okay, steady now.
The
But
first time she said, Mommy, I'm gonna create an animated version of you. And so she would ask me, do you like this hair? And then I'll be like, yeah. Do you like this? And then when she finished the whole thing, I was like, whoa. I was like, did you create this like from scratch? She was like, yeah, that's what I was doing. That's what I told you. And
I
so
asked you 10 times. I'm like, Joyce, do you mean that she did this herself? And then you said yes. I said, no. What I'm asking is, did she actually make this? This is awesome. I asked you like 10 times. I couldn't believe it.
yeah, well,
Amazing.
even me.
It's
So
amazing.
yesterday she told me, you know what? I think I'm gonna get several degrees. I want to get a degree in animation too.
Wow.
So I was like, anyway, whatever you choose to do, because I know if my old mindset would have been like, girl, you better use that brain to become a lawyer or a doctor. But now I'm just open. Whatever you choose to do that aligns with who you are, that's what I want you to do. So
Absolutely.
yeah. So any final words? How can people be able to reach
Yes.
out to you?
Yes, so I want to answer a question from, if it's okay, from Agnes, who said, how did you put your book on Amazon? So I actually self-published. I mean, there's publishers out there that you can write the book and then they help you with that. I self-published, so I did it myself. I did also get a publishing, a coach who helped me to do the technical side. So it's actually possible to do it yourself. I mean, a lot of people think it's a long process. It's impossible. It's not. And thank you, Eguono, who said she's going to get the book. Amazing. And also, I want to just add on the myth. I want to say this to parents, because I know there's a lot of parents and young people here, but Joyce, have you noticed now what our children are even watching? They're actually making money, right? They are watching people, I can't remember even their names, but
The
they're
YouTube.
watching people even playing games, right?
Mhm.
They're watching people, they're watching their own age mates doing
Yes.
things online and just doing tricks. And these people are being paid even via YouTube.
Yes.
So we need to come out of this. We need to remember we're not in that age,
Yes.
right? They are not children of 1980s or 1960s or whatever. They are children of now. And the now
Yes.
generation is technical. So let's
Very.
allow them, please, to just venture into that. Those myths, let's get rid of them.
Mhm.
So yes, in closing, last words is, the greatest life is an entrepreneurial life, because you get to, work in your own time. Being a mother, I am able to literally just schedule myself. I can have days off when there's important things for the kids, but also just living in purpose. Right. There's no greater life than living in purpose. Even if it's a career, let it be a purposeful career. Right. You have to live life according to what it is that God created you to do. So whether it's entrepreneurial or it's a career, let it be something that you enjoy, because a purposeful life is a fulfilling life. That's all from me. Thank you so much, Joyce, for having me.
Thank you. And just give us your website.
Oh, yeah. So my website is www.gladnessofficial.com. So I recently just launched this website because I have many businesses and I don't want to lose touch. If you go to www.gladnessofficial.com, you will be able to find me and all my different business services.
Wow. Guys, make sure you are following Gladness in all her
And
platforms.
Facebook, Instagram,
Yes.
all of that is all Gladness Official.
Yes, you'll be able to find her. You'll be able to learn from her. You'll be able to, she has a wealth of information and just, amazing platform. So thank you so much for gracing us with your presence. And we will see you at the end of this session in the Q&A session. So guys, I just want you to know we'll have a question and answer session. So don't make sure if you have any questions, you can put them in the chat. And also during that session, you can also put those questions there, and we'll have these experts in entrepreneurship answer answer the questions that you have. So our next guest is gonna be Santa Claus Agasho. He is located in Nairobi, Kenya. He has a bachelor's in economics, MBA in strategy, Masters of Science in finance, and he's also the lead finance at Idomex? It's a Kenyan fintech company by Julian Kuehler. So hi Stan, how are you?
Hello, Joyce. How are you doing?
Yes, so good to have you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us. I know you are super busy, but thank you so much for being here.
Well, I'm happy to be here. Exciting. The session has been so empowering so far. I must say that the content that is being dispensed here is very strategic and important for the entrepreneurs that are going to start, grow, and scale their business.
Awesome. Yes. So we are really excited, and to have what we wanted to do was to make sure we have people from all around the globe, so that we can be able to, because sometimes when we get information just from one continent, people feel like maybe that information can only work from one continent. But we're excited that we've been able to have at least 3 continents represented today. And so if you could just tell people where you are and tell them a little bit about you, then we will jump right in, because we want to focus on today we want to focus on entrepreneurship, but especially for those people who are already in business, how can they get to grow from there?
Well done, Joyce. I must say that this is an amazing platform. We need more of this happening. You will be surprised that such meetings have serious impact on the life of many entrepreneurs, at least those who take themselves seriously. One of the things that I've learned in business is that if you don't take yourself seriously, nobody will. What is your attitude in doing your company profile? How are you handling your emails? How are you doing your meetings with clients? clients? How are you pitching your business? If you don't take yourself seriously, nobody will. And I mean, Joyce, you have this content that could easily be sold, but you put it out here for free just for people to get empowered. I just want to say, well done, Joyce. This is very good. This is actually commendable. I'm telling you that these types of platforms are having a serious impact. So please continue, and we need to begin figuring out how then do we partner with you, even money wise, just to empower your platform to reach out to more and more people, because I believe that what will solve Africa's problems, now I've said where I am, is actually entrepreneurship as opposed to government policy, because there is nothing as easy as solving Africa's problems but solving it from the market side, because the profit incentive will drive us to be efficient in all those things that we are doing, as far as solving the challenges. For example, healthcare. If you have a market solution for healthcare as opposed to the monopolies that we are seeing now, you will realize that have much more efficiencies more than government. Talk about infrastructure, talk about education, talk about insurance. Most of these Africa's problems, I believe they should be solved on the entrepreneur side, on the business side. So I'm reaching you guys out from Nairobi, Kenya. It's evening right now. I'm just about to have my evening run and sleep.
Wow, that is really awesome. And just could you just tell us what you currently do? Because I know you said you work with Julian, so, and I know you guys are working on something exciting. So
all right, so I'm currently leading finance at Edomex, which is a fintech startup based here in Nairobi, Kenya, and in the US, in New York. So we have two offices, and we have 2 markets. Before that, I've been part of several startups. If you look at my Facebook profile, I style myself as a serial entrepreneur. I've been part of several startups that we have started and flipped. I remember my first business in the year 2008. I think I was around first year, second year university at the University of Nairobi. I came up with a concept that solved a need that was happening at that time within malls. And I kid you not, Joyce, because of the seriousness with which we approached that business, we were able to secure a $100,000 investment. This was our first business, actually, $100,000 investment.
Wow.
Company. And I took something away from that experience. I began to realize then that where capital goes is that capital will go to those places where a problem has been identified, what my colleagues will call pain, and then where that pain has been profitably solved, and where that solution can grow and be scaled, automatically money goes to those places. So you begin to see then that as far as raising capital is concerned for entrepreneurship, whether you are young, whether you're old, whether you're mid-aged, whether it's your first business, whether it's your second business, whether you're in employment and you're considering to leave employment, or you are in school and you're just about to finish your school, it doesn't matter. The principles for business strategy are the same. We have to always start with, what problem are you solving? Many entrepreneurs, you'll hear entrepreneurs speaking and they say, please identify a gap in the market. That is very good. But a second step is there a market in your gap? So it's not so much about identifying a gap in the market. It's not so much about identifying a problem. It's also if the solution that you are giving, is it 1, sustainable, 2, can you grow, 3, can you scale, and can you do all these 3 things profitably? So you begin now to realize that the beginning of any business can be traced to those 4 key points: that there was a problem, there was a pain point, the solution that was being proposed is profitable, the solution can grow, the solution can be scaled. Then at that point, the capital inflow is almost automatic. I don't believe in necessarily going for pitches where you will get a no, because if you were to do a survey, a very simple survey of 10 businesses that were funded, you'll realize that there's a very clear trend. There was a clear problem definition, there was a clear profitability definition, there was a clear growth plan, and there was a clear scalability possibility. So a business that cannot grow, cannot be scaled, and is not profitable, it doesn't matter if you're solving a problem, that business will not be funded.
Wow. And that is so important, because a lot of times we have people who are ready to start a business, or they want to solve a problem, but they don't have a way of figuring out how to solve that problem in a way that it would make money or it would make profits. And I think and I know that a lot of times when people look to get some sort of funding, that's what the investors are looking for. Like, okay, I know you want to solve this problem, but how is it going to, like, if I give you this money, how will I get a profit from what you're doing? And so I think and that goes to also just the question I was going to ask is, how would you advise someone who currently has a business and they're looking for funding? What are some of the things they would do? So if you could just add on that.
Beautiful, Joyce. Thank you. That's a very good question. Now, I think I need to say here and to emphasize that when you are starting a business at idea stage, there are, in my view, three things that you need to think about. One, you have to think about the problem, the what. What problem are you solving, right? But the second thing that you need to think about also is which people will help you, which people are in your team. Is it you yourself? Are you outsourcing partners? Are you getting in consultants? Are you getting in other suppliers to play with you as partners, and so on? And thirdly is processes. So I've developed a model which I'm calling the Stanislaus Agacho growth model. And in that model, we have only 3 P's. Now, depending on the stage of business, these P's carry different weight. So at startup or at idea stage, the most important P for you is purpose or pain or problem. What problem is your business solving? That then is the bottom of the base. The next is, what is your team? This is a startup. When you're thinking about a startup, you have not yet opened a bank account, you have not yet registered anything. You're just at ideation, as it were, right? So the first thing, the bottom of your pyramid will be problem or pain, or what challenge are you solving? Purpose. The second thing layered on top of your pain would be, who are the people, right? That's why you'll find many businesses that get funded. Rarely do you find a one individual business. So there's this fad, or there's this vibe about having a co-founder with whom you have complementing skills, for example, or a team of founders, for instance, especially people with some sort of experience or people with unique characteristics that are not similar within the group, right? Then the apex of that triangle will be processes. That is at startup. Now, the day you say we want to do the business, we want to engage, we want now to register, we want to start our fundraising round, the most important thing, you flip that triangle. So what will carry the business now is processes. So processes becomes the base. So before, at ideation, what is the base is the purpose. For what reason are you starting this business? But after ideation, when you enter into implementation, the most important is, what are your processes, as far as the key processes that will help you deliver your value proposition. For example, for the gentleman, it's called Ogalo's business of the Fiverr equivalent, as it were. One of the biggest processes there would be platform development, right? So that's a key process. What are your processes around platform development? What is the acceptable practice? What is your quality metrics for platform development? Another key process for him will be design, because the user interface needs to look nice, meaning design is an ongoing process. So processes is what will carry your idea. But on top of process, the next thing is people, right? And then finally is purpose. So at execution stage, what we want to see is, do you have sufficient processes backed up by the right people to achieve your why? Now, in making a pitch that will be funded, in fundraising, in getting people to invest in your business, you will begin to see that if the fundamentals are right, that you have established your gap in the market, and that there is a market in your gap, and that market is profitable, and that market can grow, and that market can be scaled. Once that is in place, the next is, we want to see, do you have processes in place to make sure that happens? So the so-called proof of concept. Do you have some skin in the game? And we can use the 3Fs, the friends, family, and fools. Get some money in. You don't always start, right? You don't always start funded. What you can do is get some money, get $1,000, get $500, get $200, get something, right? Then begin to test your product, begin to test your idea, get some marketing material together, have a Facebook page, have a YouTube channel, do something so that people begin to see that you're actually testing your process with your own money, right? Now, once I see process in place and you have the right people with the right experience, right, the right strength, the right attitude, and we have a clear purpose, that business will be funded. Remember, people will always fund a business, right, that has a high chance of success as pushed by experienced people and solid processes. So the problem might not be all that exciting. The problem might not be mind shattering. The problem might not be like a Casanova. No, the problem might not be like, shocking. It might be a very simple thing, but because of the people behind it, case in point, if I was to start a garbage collection company today, and I have Joyce Marendes in there, and I have our other we have the people in this panel in that garbage collection company, you will notice that the garbage collection problem is not necessarily a new problem, but because of the people and processes in this new venture, we can attract funding within a month. Why? Because one, we are setting up processes. We know what is the best practice as far as garbage collection is concerned. What type of brand feel do we want to have our customers have? Should we come with an app? What is differentiating us, right? How do we ensure that we have the right type of paper bag? Is this paper bag biodegradable? What's our marketing plan? What is our sales plan? Which are we segmenting? Are we starting with high-end, high-end society, low-end society? We can come up with a very clear because this team already has some good experience as far as running a business is concerned, and we are able to, over 2, 3, 4 days, set in place a procurement process because we'll be buying a lot of bags. We can set in place a hiring process because we might need to increase our team. We might set in place a sales process, a marketing process. Now, when somebody looks at the team, all of a sudden they are compelled to invest because this new company can easily become a market challenger. What am I saying? I am saying that any business, you can enter any business as long as you have the right people and the right processes. Now, that gets you funding all the time, every time.
Wow. I think this meeting was just for me. That's really, really good information. Guys, I see people here, they're just commenting. They're like, wow, wealth of information, process, people, and purpose. Very true. And then I see, oh, wow, there's a market in your gap, food for thought, great insight. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for your time. So this is really, really good information, because I know that's one thing that I see someone saying also really eye-opening. Because we have a lot of people who have a dream, and maybe they've moved to that stage where they've started working in their dream. And so even just the way you've explained about making sure they have processes and the people who are backing up the process is really, really key, because I think sometimes we try to do so many things by ourselves. And I think that's just a mindset thing. So I think being able to bring other people in who have experience can really help when it comes to funding funding a business. So let me see here. Someone says a lot to learn from the discussion. Great speakers there. Yeah, guys, thank you so much. And if you have any questions, make sure that you are sending those questions, because we'll have them addressed as soon as we finish this session. So could you tell us a little bit about what you do at Edomex? Like what are some of the things you do? Because I know it's a startup, so that's like a good thing even for people to know, because a lot of people are in that starting stage, or maybe they've started and then in that, under 5 years. So
yeah, so my day-to-day currently, I'm leading finance, And so that involves then, of course, from a startup stage, that is designing what our projections look like, what's our go-to-market as far as numbers are concerned, what type of valuation are we looking for, what type of money are we looking for? Are we looking for debt? Are we looking for equity? Are we looking for a balance? So looking at capital structure balance, and then, of course, the day-to-day on checking on what our costs, what our payroll, and so on and so forth. But I wanted to say something here that I think will be of tremendous help as far as entrepreneurship is concerned. I'm glad that the title of this meeting is Young Entrepreneurs Event. I like to ask this question: who is an entrepreneur, and are entrepreneurs born, or are entrepreneurs created, or can you develop yourself as are you an employee who becomes an entrepreneur, or are you an entrepreneur who becomes an employee? Who is an entrepreneur? And I want to suggest a couple of answers, and the most critical one for me is this: that entrepreneurship is a mindset, that there has to be, it's a development of. Let me give you an example. For instance, if you have a red pair of trousers and you are conscious about your red pair of gloves, it could be Tommy Hilfiger, it could be Gucci, it could be whatever, it could be Berlusconi, whatever it is. What will happen is, because you're so aware of your red trousers, what will begin to happen is that you'll start noticing other people with red trousers. Have you ever met these people who have this mind of somebody's against them? It doesn't matter what environment you bring them to. The first thing will be somebody's against them. If they are queuing in a bank and then the teller says that the machine has gone off, they will immediately say somebody's against me, because they have trained their mind to think about somebody is against them. Entrepreneurship is about training your mind to seeing opportunities that are scalable. That is it. It's about training your mind to see opportunities that are scalable. In our interaction today, from the platform we are using, StreamYard, to the machines we are using, to Facebook, to the clothes we have on, all these were people's ideas. Some of them were original ideas. Some of them were replications. Some of them were first to market. Some of them were challengers. So entrepreneurship then can be reduced to a mindset. Listen, entrepreneurship works all the time, every time, anywhere in the earth, anywhere in the world. Meaning, if you dropped an entrepreneur, once you build, so what then should an entrepreneur, what does the day of an entrepreneur look like? It looks like this. It looks like developing or finding those environments that develop your mind as an entrepreneur. What is that? Identifying problems, identifying solutions, or identifying solution channels. What does that mean? It means that I could go and identify a transport problem, but it's not every time that I have the solution. It could be that solution is with Joyce, or Joyce knows somebody who has that solution. So me as an entrepreneur, once I identify the problem, I don't have to solve it. That is the mindset of an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur has his eyes open at all times for what's the opportunity here? Is this opportunity? Can we grow it? Can we scale it? What's the solution here? Can I get the people? What processes would be needed? That is all. If you are able to develop analytical thinking as far as identifying of problems and getting the solutions, that is all the entrepreneurship there is in the whole world. It doesn't matter which space it is. You don't even have to be a doctor. You can sit down today and go through telecare or telehealth. Is it called telehealth?
Yeah.
Telehealth. And all of a sudden you go through 10 of them, you'll see problems. There you are. That is what entrepreneurship is. Entrepreneurship is not getting struck by lightning and coming up with mysterious, mind-boggling ideas. That is not true, friends. It means that you can become an entrepreneur at will, because there are skills. Let me ask you a question, Joyce. How do you become a doctor? When you go to medical school and you stay there for 4 years, there is no injection that they give you and then you come out a doctor. No, it is what they expose your mind to in that 5 years you've been there. If they change that and expose to you engineering material, you come out an engineer. If they change that and expose to you finance material, you become a finance person. There is no injection that they give you at the university. That means then, if you're going to grow as an entrepreneur, before you start getting yourself into this miasma of, oh my gosh, I need a business idea. I need a big business idea. It has to be big. It has to be big. It has to be very big. It has to change the lives of men. It must be like something nobody has ever seen before. That's a lot of hogwash, because you will not get any done. If you are to critically examine those businesses that have gone very well, they are those businesses that follow a very specific blueprint. That blueprint is, what is the problem? And then what is the solution? And then how do we offer this solution profitably? And then are we able to grow this solution? And then is this solution scalable? And then is this solution profitable? Finished. Whatever business you put through that model, and then you insert my growth model for getting funding, you're home and dry, including, not limited by even these spectacles. There are people today who are selling spectacles on Amazon, and they have never left their house. They have never, because the question here, how do you get your products onto Amazon? The so-called affiliate marketing and other type of stuff. I mean, you can establish a niche. You can get a manufacturer in China. You can get your marketing material going. You can define your marketing channels. You can define your marketing segments. You can get your revenue model. You can get your key activities, do them well. Those activities that you don't have internal capacities for, you can get partners for that. And then you can get some key resources, be it personnel, be it computer, be it internet, and so on. All of a sudden, you have your cost structure, you have your revenue structure. The difference is your profit without ever. So entrepreneurship, ladies and gentlemen, is a mindset. You're better off developing that mindset first, as opposed to groping in the dark, trying to find ideas, trying to implement stuff. Once you have clarity on the mindset, then even defining go-to-market processes, for example, what does it take for me to from ideation to conceptualization to funding to implementation to growing to scaling, all that can be done if you get the right mindset, meaning educate your mind around being an entrepreneur.
Wow, that is so powerful. That is just so awesome, because I think even you touching on mindset, because that's one of the classes we'll actually be offering here on the Breaking Limitations Academy, on mindset. And also, having an entrepreneurship mindset is really, really important when someone wants to launch into business. And I think that's why it's so important even to start training our young people early. You training our young people, our young kids and all that, so that they can have that mindset. Because when we were growing up, our parents focused so much on just saying, go to school, get a job, then do it. They had a system. And when you try to come out of that system, then they were really upset, or you would really get in trouble. So, so even just making sure that even as we are transforming our minds so that we can have that entrepreneurial mindset, we are also training even the younger kids, the younger generation, the younger entrepreneurs, so they can have that same mindset. And so, what are some of the things you can help even parents if they're if they have these children who look like they're gifted? Like here in the US, we have the gifted and talented classes, where kids who look they're gifted, they can go to those classes, but sometimes just they learn some things that are really they learn things in those classes, but then now when they come home, they don't have that structure or the help to be able to really develop themselves. What kind of things would you say to parents?
That's a very good question. Thank you so much, Joyce, for that question. I must say this, that the power of any individual is in their purpose. The thing is this: there is no useless human being, right? The only challenge is that we've already formed a lot of measuring metrics as far as intelligence is concerned, performance. Are you athletic? Are you genius? Are you book smart? Are you street smart? And all kinds of categories. I want to propose here that the mindset of parents must be that there is no useless human being, and every human being's power is in their purpose. If they can get aligned to an environment that supports self-discovery, then that is the environment that will be required. I don't know what that looks like for different people. What does self-discovery? Does that mean allowing them to express, to say, I don't like this class? All right. I don't necessarily believe in forcing people to do complex things. right? I think the most important skill is counting and talking, communication and mathematics. Everything else is around that. Right? If you are able to communicate and you're able to count, nothing else matters, strictly speaking, at least on a basic level, right? So purpose and environment. So for parents need to begin to think about what environment should I create to enable that self-discovery type of thing. But here's this. Once you realize or once you feel that the self-discovery has already happened, then you must quickly move that environment to an accountable environment. Meaning, once I say that I look like I'm getting into athletics, or I feel like I need to get into software, and sometimes these things change, or I feel like I need to, get into music, then the environment must be switched into accountability. Right now, the self-discovery environment is very nice because there's a lot of grace and there's a lot of bounds, and you can do whatever you want. You can almost do whatever you want. You can almost do. But once you say that I'm now fashioning myself as a musician, then that is the day the environment changes, because now we expect some bare minimums. We have some. We now have, as it were, we now have some KPIs. You are saying you want to be a musician, very well. Now you are going to learn. You're going to learn 10 instruments. You are starting this year, starting with guitar, keyboard, and drums. There is nothing like you're not learning, because now you've already discovered this is your line. So it is self-discovery first, but a quick second is accountability. So we allow you to discover your purpose, but then you must fulfill your purpose, because purpose discovery does not necessarily mean purpose fulfillment. If you're going to implement, execute, take charge of your life and walk in a life of purpose, what is needed is an environment of accountability, where we ask you, say, do you want to be a musician? Beautiful. So you're going to learn to sing in 3 languages. You're going to learn music history, right? We're going to expose you to those areas that will develop you as a musician. You're going to join a music school. So there is nothing like, I want to be a musician, but I don't like the guitar. That is now what we are past. We are now past a purpose discovered. We are now on, you are music, we are going music. You are athlete, we are going. There's nothing like you don't feel like going to the gym. So the tragedy is that you want to provide an environment of accountability to your children where there is no purpose discovery, then it is complete frustration. Because what begins to happen is you're pushing your kids, you're pushing your young ones, you're pushing your teenagers to do something they don't want to do. You're keeping them accountable on math, or you're keeping them accountable on science, but they just don't have a science mind. Right? So you're pushing them like you're supposed to be doing the science. What's your science project? Write a science paper. You should be reading science book. That accountability is misplaced. What does that do? It breeds rebellion. So for me, I have one purpose discovery environment. I don't know how long that will take. Prayer will help here, because David talks about how you should teach a child in the way he should go, meaning it is required for you as a parent to see the way that the child should go. There's a requirement for you as a parent to have revelation. So you have to keep your eyes open. You have to look at this. This one has a big voice. This one will make a good orator, right? Those are some of the things. I know our time is up. Let me just for 30 more seconds. I know, so once purpose discovery occurs, you kill that environment of discovery. Now we are on execution. That's an accountability environment. So how do you define accountability? Right? What accountability is about? Discipline. It is strict, it is painful, it is uncomfortable, but it yields results.
And wow, that is so true, because even all these celebrities that we look at who started doing their craft early, like Tiger Woods and the girls, Serena Williams and all those, they discovered what they wanted to do. And then now there was that accountability part, which the parents helped them to stay on course, even when they didn't feel like, even when they didn't feel like doing, going for practice and all that. So this has been really awesome. How can people get in touch with you if they want to reach out to you?
My handle on Facebook is Stanislaus Agacho. I respond to all DMs.
Okay, so guys, you see that, make sure you reach out to him if you have any questions. He has wealth of knowledge, and of course, if there are any questions right now, go ahead and put those questions in the chat, so we can be able to see those questions and have any of the speakers answer those questions. So so what we'll do now, we are almost out of time, but we'll go ahead and have Gladness come back up, and then we will have and also we'll have also, let me see here, we'll also have Lincoln come up, and also Andrew come up, and we'll go ahead and just if anybody has any question for any of the speakers on today, go ahead and just post those questions so we can be able to answer them, because we are actually running out of time. But guys, this has been awesome. So I'm so happy that you guys made time to be here with us on today. This is actually our launch for the Breaking Limitations Academy. And so these are some of the things that people will be seeing, because Breaking Limitations, we have 4 pillars. One is our Breaking Limitations. We have a Breaking Limitations TV show that's also launching on today. So it's going to be at 11 p.m. Central Time, US. That is going to be 7 a.m. For Kenya, and I think 5 a.m. for the people in the UK. So it's going to be launching out today, and it's also all about empowerment. And then we also have the Breaking Limitations Academy, where we're going to be focusing on things like this. We'll be having master classes and different things on different topics, but our goal is to empower, to equip, and to promote. In August, we are going to be launching a Breaking Limitations magazine, and some of the young people who are here are also going to be featured in the magazine, because we are going to have the magazine is going to also focus on just empowering a certain group of people so that they can be able to break limitations. And then we also have the Breaking Limitations gear, which is just the things you can wear to remind you every day that you're here to break limitations. Don't allow the world to Don't allow anything you're going through to stop you. And then we also have a Breaking Limitations journal, which is a mindset journal that just helps you to transform the way you think. And we know that there's so much power in journaling. And we'll actually have a class that just focuses on how to properly journal so that it can be effective for your life and for your mindset. So let me see if there are any questions. So Nyakio, are there any questions that people have before we finish this session? Okay. Okay, so I have a question for Gladness. Oh, and we also have YouTube. You know, I keep forgetting our YouTube people. So sorry, guys. Let me see here. Yeah, so Gladness, I had a question for you. Like, if someone wanted like a simple business plan, maybe for a kid who wants to launch a business, are those things you do? Because I know you're super busy. Is that something you would do, or would you outsource it to someone?
Yes. So as I Womanpreneur is the consultancy firm that I have. So with everything that I do, I don't work alone. So I have business consultants that write for me. You know, I write. I love to write, so I write as many as I can. But yeah, I mean, there's no limit in age. There's no limit in industry. So we write for fields. I have written business plan for catering businesses, cake businesses, for motorcycle businesses, for IT, whatever it is, entertainment. So we plan, you know, my joy is in research and writing. Again, you know, you find, as Stanko said, you know, living in passion is really about discovering what you enjoy. So no matter the business plan we do, and self-discovery is a journey that is progressing. Sometimes people tend to limit themselves. And what I found out is that it's a continuous journey of self-discovery. So absolutely, kids' business plans, any business plans, we can definitely do that.
Okay, awesome. And so there's a question here that says, how do you control what kids are viewing online, since we have both positive and negative content?
Well, I could give that a go, and anybody can add. For me personally, is to just create accounts. When you create a YouTube, like when I created my daughter's YouTube account, it actually allowed me to manage and also to choose and specify that it's for kids. So even when you sign up, even with Gmails, you make notice that it's for kids, and then, you know, it doesn't bring so much of the inappropriate things, but also it's just to keep an eye, to explain that when things do pop up, and to really be connected to them. I find that really helps. So my kids tell me everything, something different from what they normally watch pops up, they would tell me, and nothing bad has happened so far, because as we know, I think with feeds as well, it gives you what you kind of are tapping into already. And you've got things like there's viruses, and there's things that you can also use to prevent all those kind of things. So I'm not too insightful on that side of things, but that's what I do on a personal basis.
Awesome.
Hope that helps, Vicky.
Yes. Yeah, that's really true. Yeah, you have to keep an eye on that, because sometimes YouTube can bring up some stuff that you don't want your kids exposed to. So, and I have a question for Andrew. Andrew, how do you manage to, just as a young person, how do you manage to stay focused? Because I know kids, especially at that age when you started your business, like at the age of 9, 10, 11, 12, they're so focused on computer games. They want to play the Nintendo Switch, and they want to spend so much time on gadgets. So how do you manage to stay focused so you can even start a business?
I think the best tool I learned is definitely time management. I don't have any video games. I don't have any video game consoles. If there's anything that I've learned through balancing, my college classes, my high school classes, my 2 businesses, clubs I'm in and stuff like that, a lot of it is time management. I mean, I think, and it'll prepare me great, I think, for college and stuff like that. But a lot of it is productivity. I do a rule, if it takes to respond, I just go ahead and get it done with, try and do things in the moment. And I try and limit my time on social media like that, and keep myself productive in that sort of way. But I think one of the hardest tools and one of the hardest lessons, but greatest things I've learned during this whole process is time management, which has been an amazing lesson to learn at such a young age.
Yeah, because that's something we are all struggling with even at this age. So you being able to understand the importance of time and even just time management, that's really, really powerful. Thank you so much for that. And also Lincoln, just the same kind of the same question of how do you manage your time, and then also even how do you manage to even, like, because I know your focus is mainly on getting talent from Africa and you're not there. So even how do you even manage to get talent from Africa and really be able to vouch for them so that when clients come to your website, they can be able to get quality work?
So personally, first of all, yeah, time management, I think it's paramount. I keep, there's one quote which I keep quite close to me, is anything which you can do like in like 60 seconds, do it. Like right there and there, just do it. Don't like say, oh, I'm going to put it aside. Just do it right there and there. So time management, the way I've kept that is, being in the moment, not trying to procrastinate as much as possible, which is hard, I know, but just trying to keep things on check, follow a nice schedule, nice calendar. And to answer your other question about the students, I actually personally, I verify or I vet the students that come into the platform. So there's a process where let's say if they want to do the marketing on like our behalf, I make sure that each marketer and graphic designer has been vetted accordingly through a process. So then I'm 100% sure when they interact with our clients or the businesses, especially from the Western communities, they live to that standard and to that quality. So I'm very confident in their skills each time a client comes in. And not being at home, I think it just allowed me to be creative. It wasn't hindered, it just allowed me to just think outside the box of how I can actually reach people. And I really utilized the facilities which we have, which is like Facebook. It's crazy how powerful these things are. They're right on your phone. You can connect with so many people at once without even being physically there. So utilizing Facebook, the groups, trying to get also hold of universities and colleges, talking to them, having access to their students has actually allowed me to feel very much at home, but physically distant. So yes, I think those things were used to really feel connected to the students.
Wow, that's really awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And for Stan, one of the questions I wanted to know is if someone has maybe they have like a business plan and they want to go seek funding, are you in a position to review it real quick or to look at what they're presenting to see whether
Absolutely,
it even looks like it's worth?
Yeah,
Or
you
you?
can share it, but the first thing is you make sure Gladys has a look at it to see that the business plan is tight.
Okay.
Right? We can help you with coming up with pitch decks for funding rounds, no problem.
Okay.
I'm
And then
available.
and then this goes also to Gladness and to Stan. Do you help people with like maybe like just learning how to pitch? Because I think a lot of people have ideas on what they want to do, or maybe they even have a business plan, but they just don't know how to pitch in a way that, because I know a lot of investors don't have time to just listen to your whole history.
Yeah. Absolutely. We do that, and I do that because actually, primarily, one of the other things, apart from your business plan, that investors look at is the person. They're not just investing in the business, they're investing in you. So you being confident to articulate and answer the questions, and again, writing a business plan is good, and getting someone else to do it is good, but you also need to understand what is going on in that business. So you need to be able to answer the questions and also be prepared. One of the sections in the business plan, the executive summary, is what we use to then put in everything, and that is what you then become prepared for presentation. So when you go to stand close, you know that you're not wasting his time.
Yes.
Right? When he puts you on that pitch desk, you're not
On
wasting
the
his time. But
spot.
yeah, that's something that we also do.
Okay, good. Did you want to add anything, Stan?
Sorry.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. So the thing is, I think that people, it's interesting how you don't take yourself seriously, because you can see how you don't take yourself seriously by the kinds of emails you're writing and the kind of documents generating and the kind of letterhead you have and the type of logo. There is a seriousness vibe that one, the thing I was talking about, mentality. I mean, look at Lincoln Gallo, for example. This guy, I'm shocked he's 20 years, right? He looks like a millionaire VC guy, you see. Why? Because there is a vibe, there's a seriousness with which you can carry yourself, right? And that seriousness should permeate everywhere, and especially your documents, because nobody got time. Nobody has time. I mean, people are looking at these things for 20 seconds, 30 seconds, right? Actually, in videography, there's the so-called 8-second rule, that in exactly 8 seconds, they have to change the angle of the video to another camera, else you get bored and you move on to other things. This is why if you look at music videos, if you look at movies, they don't have one scene for more than 8 seconds. You can actually count it out. Why? Because there is the law of first impressions that happens very fast. So as far as your business plan is concerned, for example, have a very clear business plan, and there is what a business plan must have. Gladys covers that in her book, right? There is what must be in a pitch deck as far as funding is concerned, right? Have you done your research? Are we able to see the acceptable format, right? Do you have spelling mistakes in your pitch deck? Okay, is there a flow? Trust me, if you can take yourself seriousness, you'll solve a lot of your business problems. I promise you.
wow, that is awesome, awesome, awesome. This has been mind blowing, and I am so grateful that you guys took the time out to be here. And viewers, I just want you to. I don't see any more questions. Let me see here. Yeah, I do see. I don't see any more questions here. I see Dr. Beatrice says great advice great advice from the team. And Yakio says very true. Stand close. Yeah, so this is really awesome, guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here with us on a Saturday. And so we're gonna go ahead and close out. And like I said, this whole event was sponsored by BL Consulting, and their focus is in providing solving employee benefit solutions, offering employee benefit solutions. So I don't see any, I see someone saying, we appreciate the wisdom and time, great advice, great insight. So people are commenting. Yeah, so this event has been sponsored by Breaking Limitation, by BL Consulting Group. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna have a short video, and then and I just want to thank everybody who is here on today. And then guys who are in backstage, go ahead and just stay on, because we're gonna add a few other people to do like our last Q&A session. So we'll have that. We can go ahead and have that short video.
Study, analyze, listen, and apply. These are the words that run through my mind every second of the day. Why? Because I'm dedicated, I'm focused, and I'm ready to serve you. Insurance can be daunting, and it can be confusing, but my job is to help you navigate it safely, and better yet, help you make the right choice for yourself and your family. If you are interested in learning more when it comes to selecting the right insurance plan, please direct message me below or comment below and learn how I can help you right now.